There's an idea in business that if you're not scaling, then you're failing. And the next step is always the same: outsource, hire, and stop doing the work yourself and get somebody else to do it for you. And for a long time, I genuinely felt like there was something wrong with me because I never wanted that. But I felt the pressure of it. I felt like I was behind and I felt like I was small and not a proper business person because I resisted outsourcing, because I still wanted to do the vast majority of the work myself. But it's only now that I realize that the core of my business has always grown because I did things that felt right to me at the time and not because somebody else told me what the next logical step was. So you hear this advice over and over again. Pay other people to do the things that you don't want to, and buy back your time, get more freedom and live the dream. But there's a part of this that doesn't get spoken about enough for me. And that is that outsourcing doesn't remove work. It just changes the work. So if you're a designer, you stop designing and you start managing designers. If you're a producer, you stop producing and you start managing producers. You don't get freedom. You just get a different job. And for some people, that's perfect. They want to build teams. They want to be leaders. They feel a calling towards that. And that's great. And it works, clearly. But I don't. And I think a lot of other people don't. And I think they move towards it because for this reason, they feel otherwise they're staying small. I'm largely a one person business and I really enjoy that. I am a bit of an introvert. So I love the responsibility of being in control of my own working day, of my own career. Um, and I've learned a huge amount in doing the vast majority of the work myself. I outsource small amounts to keep things manageable. But I think the thing I've shied away from in terms of building a team is because it immediately makes me feel a little bit overwhelmed, gives me anxiety, to be honest. Hiring and firing, having those awkward conversations, paying people fairly, what's the right amount to pay them, tracking work, creating a culture. And it's just not for me right now. But the vibe that you get in business advice is that if you're not doing that, then you're failing. You're small and you're thinking small. But here's the thing I can look at: 3.5 years in doing this, every single year, my income and my sales has gone up around 10 to 20%. And so I've been able to do that without a scaling plan, without aggressive outsourcing, and without a team. And I just do what feels right to me at the time. What's the next step, the next opportunity? And if it feels right, I'll go towards it. And if it doesn't, I won't. And I've said no to a lot of things, opportunities that look good on paper, partnerships, the opportunity to build an agency and scale, really, exclusive projects that, again, money look good, etc., etc. But I've said no to them because something inside me has just not felt right about it, didn't feel comfortable with it. And I've learned to really trust that because that's how I got here in the first place. That's how I ended up freelancing in the first place. It was just a gut feeling that I wanted to go and do it. Um, and I've also spoken to people on the other side. I had a client a number of years back who created a podcast on freedom, a great guy called Kurt Mercadante. And he had a small but comfortable business where he was earning what would be considered enough for the vast majority of people. And he went towards the scale. He went towards the big agency and he made it work. He got the millions in revenue and turnover, whatever it might be. But he hated his life. He was miserable. And that's the bit nobody talks about. And the reason why he was miserable was everything that I've just laid out. He felt the pressure of having to manage people's livelihoods, of being dragged to meetings all the time, of being asked questions constantly, of being the guy that needed to have all the answers for everybody else who worked for him. Scaling isn't success. It's just a trade-off. And real failure, in my opinion, isn't staying small. It's building a life that you don't want because you've followed somebody else's blueprint. So if you keep hearing this advice, scale, hire, outsource, buy back your time, be curious about it for sure. Take it on board, read about it. Um, it clearly works for a lot of people, but don't treat it as a moral business obligation. Um, and don't feel like you're small if you don't go towards it because, or that you're failing, because failure is subjective, completely subjective. For me, what does failing look like? My income going backwards, my stress going through the roof, and big thing for me, dreading Mondays. And none of that exists right now. I love my days. I enjoy my work. I have freedom, an amount of freedom I'm happy with. Do I want, to take it to a next level? Yeah, but we all do. We all want more if you're to lay it out for us. But I think what not enough people do is follow what more means to them. I think you're allowed to build a business that actually works for you, whatever that means. And when you hit a certain point, let's say it's six figures or below, whatever is a comfortable amount for you, be happy to sit with that for a while. Um, don't feel the pressure or the need to have to chase the next thing. And if the next thing is scale, it often is. How do I scale this? You don't have to fucking scale it. You can just sit and enjoy your the amount you earn for as long as you want. And you can, for me, it's been about I'm happy with what I earn right now. So what am I going to do? Am I going to scale? I don't feel like crawling towards it. What am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to play around a little bit with these videos, maybe with a couple of other things, and see where it takes me. Um, that has been it's worked for me so far. So it's what I'll continue to do. I think business advice that you see over and over again, there's always something to it. But always treat it as, do I is that a fit for me or is it not? Um, there's various things you're going to see come up all the time, but depending on what stage you're at with your business as a freelancer, wherever it might be, some things are going to feel a draw towards, and some things you're not. So don't feel like, and I did this for a long time in reading books, business books, don't feel like every piece of advice is gospel because it's not. I think there's validity to it, but you got to choose what works for you. It's not a straightforward script that you have to follow. And sometimes actually not following the script can lead to better outcomes. And I talk about this in another recent video about how when clients leave you, it's actually a good thing and it's an opportunity. So check that out and talk to you next time.